Hello and welcome to the Pajama Talks series of the episodes when we talk with interesting people about interesting things. Today our guest is Laura. Hi Laura.
Hi, how are you, Jenny?
Good. Maybe not that good as it was 1 year ago before the COVID, but complaining about COVID times is a kind of bad smell these days. So you are developer advocate at Samsung Internet and the Google developer expert in Firebase. And your story is kind of complicated, and originally you are from Argentina, right?
Exactly, yeah, South America.
How it was? How did you begin your journey to this, to developer advocacy, or I don't know, to the IT world?
Yeah, well, there are two different sides. The first part is everything related with tech. I started really early. Since I was younger and a teenager, I was always around. I really like computers. And in high school, I decided to study something related with software. And yeah, I learned how to code at that time. I started with things like Visual Basic and QBasic and all that old school stuff. Really cool anyway. But then the other side come around advocacy. That's a little bit different. Besides coding, I was already working as a full-time developer around my 20s, something like that. And I used to teach also. My first part-time job was teaching Microsoft Word and all that stuff. And I really like it. I enjoy teaching. Later, I've started to go to different meetups. My first meetup, it was about HTML5. And there was a speaker that I was like, wow, he's like so passionate about technology. And he was telling everybody that basically he was doing a tour talking about HTML5, traveling and teaching people. And I was like, oh wow, that's the best job ever. Why not? So I continue going to these meetups, meeting people. And there was one time that one of the organizers of GDG, Google Developers Group, a community that explain and share knowledge about Google technologies. One of the organizers asked me, hey, is it the first time that you came here, or I see you often, something like that. At that moment I was doing Angular and of course JavaScript, and I told him, and he was like, okay, why you don't just give a talk? And actually, I gave that a talk, and I organized and gave a talk in an event. And in the lineup, there was this same person that a few years ago I saw like, wow, he had the coolest job ever. So thanks to that, I started my work in the community, doing talks, and yeah, later I became a good developer expert, and later I realized, yeah, this is something that I want to do as a job, and now I'm a developer advocate.
I think, of course, there are billions, maybe not billions, maybe millions of tech software developers in the world, and not the majority of them goes to the public speaking and to go to meetup or to some kind of activity. It's definitely a step out of the comfort zone. So what's the point? I mean, what motivated you to step out to this world of public speaking?
I was just motivated to do all about what I really enjoy. So every opportunity that I have to make a talk or contribute to the community in a different way, I was like, yes, let's do it. I was like, I need to do something more with my public speaking. And that goal motivates me to accept these opportunities, to get out of my comfort zone. It's like the more that you do this kind of stuff that keeps you out of your comfort zone, it will be easier to do other stuff that can have more challenges. So I think that's pretty it. Like, how much do you want your goals?
On the first meetup, I was talking about maybe Angular 2 or something like this. 20 of people, 20 professionals. I didn't know that, but I thought that they are professionals, definitely better than me, because it was my first talk. And it was so scary to explain some things to them, because I was afraid that someone will stand up and say, "Hey, this is bullshit. This is not true."
Yeah.
And how did you had this feeling?
Something that it's happening about public speaking, and that's the difference, the big difference that I have with teaching, because when you are teaching in let's say boot camp or to high school students, it's like you are responsible to share your knowledge, and people is learning everything new from you. But when it's a technical audience, it's like you got the same question. It's like, oh, these people probably know more than me. What am I going to say if I did something wrong? And what it really motivates me, the more people that is waiting for you, is the people that is looking to learn from you. And something that I usually say is that your knowledge is valuable, and the way that you learn something, the way that you experience something, and then you share is completely yours. So it can be really useful for people. So that's something that keeps me, okay, I can do this talk, and it's okay. It's okay. Actually, it's something worth it to share.
I'm not a native speaker, a native English speaker too, so we both, English is not our primary language.
Yeah.
So it can be a bit struggling, and for many people it's to talk on the meetup on the foreign language for the foreigners, I mean for the people different culture, it's super stressful.
Of course, it's not the same that speaking in your native language, but in terms of culture or audience, something that usually happen is that you need to get to know your audience. Also try to see other, let's say that is the first time that you're going to speak to people in the US. Try to see or try to speak to somebody that already had that experience. It can be something that is within your native language or not. At the end, people, it's not something that is really like something that needs to push you back. Things happen, and most of the time you're gonna find people that are really welcoming, and actually you're gonna learn from them and they are gonna learn from you. So that's the main point.
So you moved from your country, from your home country. What are the bright sides or maybe some other sides of being a traveler outside your home country?
Before actually moving to London, I lived like, let's say, 2.5 years with my suitcase. I used to be between the US, countries in Europe, Russia, all around, just with my suitcase. And that was a completely nice experience. But in the other side, I was traveling on my own. And one of the things that I realized is that if you want to grow personally in your business, personal projects or whatever, you need to put your roots somewhere. The problem was that I was moving so fast. The longer that I stay in a place were a few months, including London or the US. I was living in the East Coast and then also New York. And I realized I have to settle somewhere. I stay in London because that was the place that I feel more comfortable after all these travels. And at the same time, I got the opportunity to get this job. So it was, first of all, it was like, okay, I need to settle. In order to settle somewhere, I need to get a new job. I was working as a freelancer before. And yeah, and then I decided to start looking for new jobs here in London, and then I have this new job as a developer advocate. So building connections and have certain kind of stability, I think it's important.
Was London your conscious choice? So you got through the list of the cities of the world, and you're like, okay, London is my number one choice.
My first choice was New York City at that moment. I really liked New York, but then I had to leave because in order to stay, everything that is related to get a visa or things like that, it's really painful. And I was like, the world is so big, I should just keep traveling. I thought about Germany because they have really good opportunities in terms of job, and also if you work in the software industry, there are a lot of opportunities. So that was my option. But I was in Paris at that moment, and I get a ticket to Ireland to get my papers to go to Germany. My flight was really early in the morning, and I was going out with some friends, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to take that flight. And everybody was like, why? Well, I don't know, let's see later. My visa was going to expire, so it's like, okay, you didn't go somewhere, but you need to get out of France. Suddenly, I realized that the tickets to Ireland or Germany were really expensive, and because it was last minute. And then I realized, hey, I can go to the UK, so I can stay a few months. And I've never been to London. I stayed 5 months, and it was like a long stay. So then I decided, when I was doing this normal life, I decided to make London as a base, like coming back and forth. I was not living, but it was my base.
So you are a Google developer expert in Firebase. What is Google developer expert? Is it the kind of do you have a Google salary or whatever? So what's that?
Being a Google developer expert is like a recognition that Google gives to people that have a certain kind of knowledge about some of the Google technologies. It can be Android, in my case Firebase, the web and other platforms. These people are recognized for not only their knowledge, also for their contribution to the community. So besides know about a certain topic, you need to share what you know with the community. So that's being a Google developer expert. The main benefits that I see as a Google developer expert is the network. You can connect with so many amazing people that do something similar than you, because basically they all know about a certain topic, but they both love to share, and they are really engaged with the community. At the end, I think community and your net worth is really important in terms of career.
Imagine you are GD in Firebase, and someone and you on the stage, and someone will say, how can you don't know this thing or that thing? You are GD, come on.
It's helping yourself to avoid this imposter syndrome, because at the end it's like you have a validation about a huge company like Google. And then in the other side, you have a certain kind of responsibility to be up to date with their technology. And again, yes, haters gonna hate, but also you're a human, and even though you can be an expert, you're not going to know everything. Even myself, I'm a Firebase GDE, but I'm focused in everything that is related with the web. So probably if you ask me something about Firebase and Android or iOS, probably I'm not the best to answer. But again, we are humans, and it's like you get more responsibility when you get this title. You need to get up to date with the technology, and also you need to keep sharing a little bit more to the community. That's something huge, I think so.
What is like to be a developer advocate? What is your KPIs, OKRs, or something like this?
I really like my role. Why? Because I'm a developer advocate for Samsung Internet. Samsung Internet is a browser by Samsung that is based in the Chromium project, and it's open source. It's more about how we can collaborate with the engineering team to actually create some solutions for developers. So, which are my KPIs? Basically, we need to stay up to date what is happening in two different sides. The first side is with our engineering team, which are the current updates of the Chromium project, and then in the other side with the developers. Let's say which are the features that developers are waiting for, or which are the best practices or things that can help developers to build better web apps. In the other side, besides keep a connection between the web and the developer community, our department is super engaged with W3C. What is it? It's the organization that rules the standards of the web. So other of our missions is to engage with this organization W3C and check which are the next standards for the web. We need to create demos about new web features, and besides creating demos, after we create demos, there is this other side of public speaking. It's because sometimes people can confuse, oh, you are probably part of the marketing team or whatever. And we are really committed to the developer community, and we support other open source projects like MDN. We are MDN contributors, and try to see which other open source projects we can support.
In general, how much time you code? How much time you spent on public speaking and non-technical, non-coding activities?
In my case, I would say I usually create demos first. So it can be a 30% of my time, and then we do other time, let's say 30% trying to share those demos, and then the rest are trying to make documentation, planning, and different things related to how to engage with the community.
Some developers, they have some bias against advocate roles. Is that this person is software gypsy. I mean, just traveling around, saying a lot of stuff, but they are not a hardcore engineers anymore because...
For people, in general, if you have certain skills related with communication and you want to mix both coding and communication, it's a really good role. That's what happened to me. And I think that these skills that we usually say soft skills are not soft at all and are really important. There are so many different roles in tech, and actually you can mix a lot of different things. So that's my main advice of developer advocacy.
There are two ways in the career development or development at all. I mean, you either be very good at something that other people do, really deep, I don't know, in software engineering, or you should do something on the connection between two worlds, marketing / maybe psychology, maybe / software development / something, and you can create something own.
Whatever you feel that you have, what am I gonna do with this skill? Probably that's something that makes you unique and makes you different from the rest of the other people, and actually can help you in your career. It can be communication or psychology or even lawyers or whatever different skills that you have, and that's something that can be something that can help you actually.
let's talk about diversity and like your way in software engineering is not the same for all the ladies outside, all the women. Is it actually bad? I mean, shall we force ladies to join computer science field, or maybe it's not that bad?
No, at all. I think we are living in good times that people are making visible that we need diversity in different fields, including STEM. In most of the countries, women are minority and other underrepresented groups. And I think the more we make this issue visible, more people will be interested into joining as in whatever career. In this case, we're talking about STEM or specifically software engineer. Creating communities to support each other, to make these things visible, and try to create networks to support each other, and later try to join men, women, and organize this. I think is a good way to go, and I think currently right now there are a lot of opportunities to make STEM careers visible to everybody.
And you are a Women Techmakers Ambassador, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So this organization, what is about?
Women Techmakers is an organization by Google. Is worldwide. You can meet women techmakers in most of the cities around the world. And basically, the idea is to encourage women into careers related with STEM, and also support each other and share resources where actually we can grow in our technology careers or any other STEM career.
I've seen some things, for example, creating some really close communities that like a painting on the door, no man's allowed. Can it work in the different opposite direction, like somehow separating groups from each other and like somehow building walls around each group, and what do you think about it?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and the thing here is that you are trying to hold a specific case and try to create a community. Basically, is within people that share something. They are women that are trying to succeed in a technical career, for example. Within this, the people that is there is gonna be more open and sharing their experiences if they see people that looks like you or share the same thing as you. And I think the way to achieve this is at the very beginning is trying to open the doors to these people. We need to, first of all, learn, and the other part needs to listen. That's the best way that we can try to fix an issue or a problem. Again, there are so many problems in the world, and these specific communities are made to solve and create and join forces about a specific community, and then try to share with the rest of us.
Moving back 10 years ago, and just imagine there are a lot of people like you 10 years ago. So what advice can you give to them? Like, I don't know, follow your dream or something else.
But even before follow your dreams, dream big. Even though I wouldn't imagine myself during these 10 years, everything that happened to me, I think step by step, I was dreaming. I was like, what if I want to do this? Why not? And then I went and I worked for that. But first of all, try to believe that we have a lot of things to experience in this career and in so many different ways. So first of all, dream and then work for that. Go for that.
What is your next big dream?
Probably with these online things get me thinking about a different way to connect women and try to help them into their career, but make it a little bit bigger. It's good to dream, but it's also good to enjoy what you already achieved. And I think right now I'm in that part of my life, and then step by step new dreams will appear. That never ends.
I think that's it for today. Yeah, thank you very much for being here. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Of course. Hope to see you next time in person.
And for you, dear listeners or viewers, you know the drill. Your likes, your subscription, and other actions are much welcome. So please don't hesitate. Press this like button and other buttons. See you in the next episode, and bye bye.